Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to the Big Blue Blob. Now, I'm going to sort of go over what I have done so far because right now I think that it's important. The last stream was a bit incoherent because I was really sick, and it's been a day, so I figure that it's best to explain everything that's happened. So, we had some really good luck in this run, and but we didn't have perfect luck in this run. We had very good luck, but not perfect. So, first thing that happened was at the very start of the run, the Pope died, and at the 0 second mark, I had actually already put influence into the papacy, so I was guaranteed control of the papacy because he died literally like 2 or 3 days into the game, just immediately. So, it might have even been on the first day of the game. I think it might have been. So I took control of the Curia. That gave me a big reduction to aggressive expansion in the beginning of the game, and I gained like a lot of bonus out of that. So, speaking of aggressive expansion, the way that we've handled aggressive expansion is by doing a couple of things. With England, we released Northumberland, took our cores back, and didn't really take much territory from them aside from that. With all of the Irish miners and things like that, we didn't really have to worry about it too much. And we took Scotland in one just all-out annexation war. With Portugal, we have fought them in many, many different wars, and it wasn't until recently that we finally took Porto and Braganca because we just said, you know what, screw it, there's no reason not to. We took Coimbra, I think, in the second war against Portugal, and Porto and Braganca in like the fourth war against them. Algarve here is Morocco, by the way. It is not a part of Catalonia. They're similar in color, and it's uncommon for Morocco to get a foothold in Portugal itself. So I am currently at war with Portugal and England because my truce was over with England, and I figured that I should declare war on them. We do have very little war exhaustion right now. We've been able to keep that low for a decent portion of the game. We have our administrative technology up to level 5. We have not spent anything on diplomatic technology, and our military tech is, up to date, so to speak. Soon we'll be able to get the limber, and once we have the limber, that'll be really cool. The other thing that we have done is we've made sure to always get administrative support and diplomatic support when we can. We were only able to get 50 diplomatic power out of this, so that's unfortunate. But we will be able to get another 50 out of this very, very shortly. Let's see. What else has been going on? We've been just sort of trying to manipulate these guys as best we can to get the stuff that we need. Our manpower is doing good. We are currently the Emperor, and the way that happened is that Austria had their ruler die twice. They had one ruler die very young, and he happened to die at the exact moment that they had taken a few electors from me. I actually fought a war with Austria, and when I pieced out, they got so much prestige out of the war that it put them a little bit ahead, and I think it has probably the aggressive expansion had an impact as well, but not by very much. So anyway, no, it couldn't have been an aggressive expansion. That didn't have any impact because of the fact that my relations were max. So it was pretty much just the fact that I had a little bit of reduction in diplomatic reputation because I was overextended from the end of the war, and let's see, and Austria got a bunch of prestige from the war. Austria's prestige is very high now. They have 65 prestige, so in a tie situation, they're somewhat dangerous. Anyway, that being said, the first guy died, and it was right after I had wasted a diplomatic slot on Naples. basically allying them to quickly raise their relations to plus 100, because I needed to raise their relations to plus 100 in order to get one diplomatic reputation. That diplomatic reputation brought me to the point where I would have been winning the electors, except the guy died literally at like age 35 or something, the same day that I sent out the alliance request to Naples. Now, I then made the mistake of getting a royal marriage with Naples, which has been a thorn on my side ever since, because now I'm over my relations limit by 1 still. It's not a huge deal, though. So we're over our relations limit. We're only getting 6 diplomatic power a month, which is substantially less than we'd like, but it's not that huge a deal. We're about to start annexing Catalonia, because it's going to take, I think, around 1100 or 1200 to integrate them. I can look at it now, and it says 1500 something, 1584. But I'm about to get 2 separate things that reduce it at the same time. So when I get integrating elites, this is a minus 25%, and this is another 10%. And it's not 10% of the previous value, it's just a flat reduction. So we're going from 100% to 75% to 65%. So those two will stack together very nicely. Okay, so the Burgundian inheritance did fire, but it fired when it's very early on in the game. It just fired randomly, and Austria was the emperor at the time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If that had fired later in the game, I'd almost be done with the achievement, and it's only 1473. I'm currently sitting at 51 provinces personally, and Catalonia has 19. So we're sitting at 70 provinces at 1473, which is pretty comfortable. We need an extra 30, and we've been getting several per year already. The basic way that we're going to plan to do this is I'm gonna take this province down here, because I really need this. I need Corfu to start fabricating on Serbia. But my intention is to I could do a couple of things. I was planning on using an imperial ban on Denmark. An imperial ban on Denmark would allow me to take 1 province from them and release Norway as a vassal. So if I release Norway, then that would be good. Alternatively, I could just support Sweden in its independence war, and if I support Sweden in its independence war instead, I don't have to fight Sweden during the war, and Sweden will in fact help me, and I might be able to get things going with them as well. Let's see. Anyway, that's the basic gist of how things are going. The next several years are going to be dedicated to this war with England, so let's take a look at what we're going to take. We aren't going to take anything from Portugal, because Portugal is, I believe, Portugal is small enough that if I declare war on them directly, I can immediately vassalize them. I am going to be vassalizing Portugal. I am not going to be what's the word? Taking their territory directly. They only have 4 provinces left. So there's not a huge amount of reason for me to want that. Like, the 3 provinces are not going to make or break, or sorry, the 4 provinces aren't going to make or break the run. And what I'd like to do is get them as a vassal, because I want to start taking out the African nations down here. And the only way that I'm going to start taking out these African nations is by doing good business. And I don't want to core any of this myself, because these guys have a tradition that increases the coring costs by 50%. So we're not going to want to do that ourselves. Bear in mind that that's for the world conquest portion of our run. That I want that, which is completely separate from the blue blob stuff. For the perspective just of the big blue blob, there's no reason to vassalize Portugal when I could just annex them. But I'm thinking in the long term, not just the short term. Okay, so they also already have cores on these two provinces. So since they have cores on these two provinces, I'll be able to declare war on Morocco for reconquest, get a foothold over here, as well as taking a boatload of territory. And all that good jazz. So the Canarias are over here. I need to remember that they exist. And anything else that I need to worry about? I don't think so. We have plenty of provinces to work with that are within our sphere of influence right now to get the achievement. If we take Castile out of the game, and if we take Castile, we take Aragon, and we take most of England, that will be sufficient for the achievement. But we're gonna try to take some more expensive stuff than just that. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to take Cornwall. Cornwall is important. We would normally just release it because it will allow us to just take it later. And it doesn't give us an aggressive expansion, and we're very close to our aggressive expansion limit right now. However, I don't want to do that because it turns out that it's going to take me a lot more aggressive expansion to tie together Gwynedd with the continental territory down here without Cornwall. And let's see. We're going to, if we offer a 31, then we will end up with basically nobody joining anything against me, because it's going to take me at least another year or so to finish this, and I'm getting about -3 aggressive expansion per year. So Bar, Switzerland, and Genoa are not an issue. One thing that I do need to do is I definitely need to start improving my relations with Liege. And where is Liege? Sorry, my wife's sending messages. So, let's see. I've got 100 power projection, and that's always a good thing. We have a bunch of prestige. Okay, so we could release Meath, and I think that releasing Meath is a fine option for us. And if we release Wales, that would be good as well. Now, one key is, I should really look at this. So Catalonia is enormous right now. If I need to get 1100, how long does it take me to get 600 diplomatic power? Because I'm just going to assume that it's going to take 1200 total. So 600 diplomatic power is going to take about 10 years to accumulate. Right now, a little less than 10 years. It's actually substantially less than 10 years, but it's what we're going with. So it's 9 to 10 years to get that much diplomatic power. And that's good. So we're going to be set with regards to annexing this vassal. We should be able to annex this vassal. We should be able to increase their size as well without interference with that. So that's good. It's very good, actually. I'll basically be able to take the rest of this Aragonian stuff without increasing the issue that I have there. So they have not started coring this stuff yet. And they're not going to be able to start coring it now that I think about it, because we're at war with Portugal. Anything else that I need to do? I don't think so. We just need to figure out what we're going to take from these guys. during this war. I think I do want to take marches. Though then again, maybe not. The disadvantage of taking marches is that it's a... let's see what happens if I just take a lot of stuff in this war. If I just take close to 100% war score in this, then I gain 34 aggressive expansion. Now, this would give me a large number of people joining a coalition against me. You can safely ignore anyone who's below, probably around negative 55 or so. So, Nassau and Friesland and all those people are easy enough to tick over the other direction. But Genoa would be very angry with this, along with a lot of other people being very comfortably put above the aggressive expansion limit. So I'm not going to be taking a 100% war score thing from them. Kent is a particularly bad thing to take because it's so close to the mainland. So, and I don't have claims on much else. I could take Wessex instead. So taking Wessex instead has some impact, but not a lot. Now, Northumberland is not an issue because of the fact that they're very tiny, and I plan to take them soon anyway. They're already at the point where they would be in a coalition if they thought they stood a chance. Lorraine, Liege, Asian, Bar. There's a lot of people who will be comfortably inside of the thing there. Whereas if I do this, we are looking at still a pretty large number of people joining into this war. So I don't really want marches, so I'm going to drop marches off of my list. This will get me a peace offer value of 65. And let's see, if I don't release Meath, do I have a... I have a claim on Meath, so I want to see how much additional aggressive expansion I get with these people. So Northumberland isn't irrelevant, so let's just look at Lorraine. Lorraine is at 62 right now, so if I take this off and take Meath instead for myself, that gives them an extra 4 aggressive expansion. So taking Meath is very low aggressive expansion for the Germanic folk. And at this point, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 7 to 8 people that will be substantially above 50 if I do this. Now bear in mind that most of those people are not people that are relevant, and I don't care if they join a coalition because I'm not going to be attacking them. But it's preferable to not piss off the entire world where possible. So we're just going to see what happens here. We're probably not going to be able to get the +2 diplomatic reputation here anytime soon, so that's unfortunate. State propaganda is going to take forever to get as well, because we're going to start just using all of our diplomatic power very shortly. So we'll just have to see. For now, the most important people on this list that we need to increase our relations with are probably Liege. That would be my guess. So Liege. We're going to... Yes, because they are allied... sorry, not they're allied. They are right on the border with me. So Liege currently I have a 0 reputation with, and I think that it's in my best interest to just send someone to improve my relations with them. I could also bestow Imperial Grace. And let's go ahead and just improve relations. Alright, so we have finally finished this stuff that this is the initial build up, and we can unpause now. The The key for this war is going to give us a white peace with Portugal, and I don't have a leader over here. These guys are chilling in Sevilla. I can't actually go to where I want to go, so we're just gonna... Do I have enough? I have the ability to have an extra leader now, so I think I'm just gonna spend the military power recruiting a general. And he's pretty decent. He's going to be particularly good once I get access to cannons. For now, he's just mediocre, but he does nullify the bonus that these guys would have, for instance, to shock, so he can function as a defensive general. Not great for killing people, but is good for making it a little harder to just walk in and attack my people. Okay, so Sevilla has come under occupation. Catalonia does not seem to have a very strong idea of what it needs to do. And let's see how many troops there are in England. The English army is a total of 13,000 men. They have no manpower at all right now. I don't think it's a good idea necessarily. Well, we'll go ahead and try it. We're going to send these guys out of here. There's no reason to suffer attrition where we don't have to. So let's get these guys into Gwinnett. We do not have a fort. I don't know why it's showing me a fort icon there. And they are building a few more troops. So that's good for them. One of the keys is that Calais is actually not a terribly amazing place to take. Oh, actually, I don't need Bourgogne. This is a relatively weakly located fort. Excuse me, because it's right on the border with Austria. So if someone attacks me from that direction, then, I mean, we're looking at more serious concerns than just that business. I would love for... Let's see, I'm going to show this province. I'm going to set this as an objective for Catalonia. And with this being set as an objective for Catalonia, hopefully the Catalonian army here will just walk over and start sieging it. We want to piece Portugal out as soon as possible. And I need to keep getting my relations up with these guys for a little bit longer because I need to have 190 at the very end of this war. I can now invest in another idea, so we will get integrated elites. That's great, we get a bit more extra income from our vassals. And if we could get state propaganda early on here, that would be really, really good for me. We're not going to be able to get it before the end of this war, but we could probably get it reasonably soon. Unfortunately, Norway's very content being under Danish rule. Denmark is getting really big over here, so I think the next thing that I'm going to be doing is using Imperial Band to take one province from Denmark, and hopefully Sweden will declare an independence war against them, and it'll be good. Because if they declare independence and I'm able to release Norway during the peace, then I'll basically be set. And I don't think that I have to worry about the Swedish army now that I think about it. I had forgotten about this, but disloyal vassals will not defend your territory. They will defend their own territory, but they will not send their army to help you or your other vassals in the times of war. So that's an important distinction, and these guys are heading to Lisboa. That's perfect. Now, I don't have any reason to stay here, so we're just going to go to Beira. If we're going to go ahead and siege that down. So both of these sieges are going reasonably smoothly and relatively quickly. What? I don't need this. Okay, I don't need the claim. So we don't have a claim on Navarre right now. Or sorry, we don't have a core on Navarre right now. We just have a claim on it. And we took it with these guys so that they would core it for us. If we force them to give it to us, then we don't get a core on it automatically, so it's kind of a pointless thing to do. So let's take a look here. Let's see. So that's plus 75, so we're at 125 just from that. So we have plus 200 just from things that are going in our favor in that regards. We're going to stop our relations improvement right now because we're at the point where we can definitely just give them a gift if they're not happy with us for annexation. Okay, so Granada is slowly but surely going down, and I'm going to just walk over here and stop them from taking Granada. We will allow military access to all these people. Austria is fighting with Venice, Savoy, the Knights, and Genoa. We just won the Siege of Calais. And that's good because we're going to send these guys down here. So we have 45 diplomatic power right now. We have a free diplomat, so we're going to send a diplomat to the next person on this list. We have plus 40 relations with Liege now. I thought that our relations with Liege were neutral. Okay, so Liege is no longer on this list, so we're going to work on Lorraine now. Or are you Lorraine? Here we go. So Lorraine is this little tiny country here. They are a part of the Holy Roman Empire. And we're gonna just... Wait, what? That's weird. Why don't I have any imperial actions for these guys? Oh, there we go. So I can't give them this. I just realized that we don't have enough free cities. We do need to give one more country free city status. These guys are Bishopric, Duchy, Republic, Lubeck. And this will make them happier with me. So let's go ahead and grant free city status to these guys. They are not currently at war, so giving them free city status should be good. So this will improve their opinion of us by plus 25. I don't think that they were on the list just now, but it's okay. Now let's take a look. We want to improve our relations with Wherein. Let's go ahead and do that. We already have 7 electors, so we can't grant electorate to anyone right now. And these guys are... oh, these are my proper besieging army. So we're going to finish the Siege of Marches. On the plus side, with how weak Portugal is right now, they're not actually contributing a lot to certain stuff. So actually, this is enough. I have a high enough supply limit in Almeria that I can just chill there. I think I'm going to chill in Murcia instead with these guys, but I can allow him to claim that Cantabria would be a rightful claim. That's fine. We don't need it. We have a plus 11 in our treasury right now, so we need to start making some extra troops. The question is, do we want to make mercenaries? Or do we want to make... I think that it would be valuable for me to have a standing mercenary army. So... if I had 10 mercenaries, that would cost me half of my current extra income. I don't think that's worthwhile. I'm just going to create 9 normal troops. My manpower right now is comfortably positive. I have 725 extra manpower coming in every month, which is a frankly ludicrous amount. Now this guy's 5 and 2. I will probably have a crossing, so I'll have a -3 penalty going in against these guys. What is their... I don't know how I got to trade. They have a rank 5 military, I have a rank 6 military. I also have dramatically higher stuff than them. So if I have to, I am going to go in with this army. For now, I would rather wait until these guys are going to show up mid-fight, but it's fine. Now, I've still got 1 extra diplomatic relation. And that is probably something we will be sitting on pretty much indefinitely. I don't think that we're ever going to stop having an extra diplomatic relation here. Okay, defenders desert. Oh, shit. So these guys are going to get my good general because they are going to arrive first. There's twice as many troops there as they have, so we should be able to just go in here. They will move to either Sevilla or Alejandro. Either way, this should be pretty one-sided. Yeah, we've got 3.9 morale, they've got 3.1, and they have 0.7 military tactics. So they're taking about 50% more damage than we are. So... Sevilla has supply limit of 31, so we can comfortably just walk these guys in here. And that's good. The other thing that I could do, probably, if I wanted to, is take... I don't want to take the Azores, though. I want them to have it. That's interesting. I don't mind losing a bit of prestige, honestly. It's not a huge deal for us, because we get so much prestige when we every time we peace out with somebody. And so we've got such a positive prestige level that the decay is more relevant than these little bonuses and penalties. So now, let's see. Actually, I can probably peace out with these guys right now. Okay, so Liege, we do not need to continue improving our relations with. We've got plenty of stuff with them. It is now May. They are willing to peace out with a white piece. And that's all we want, because we want the truce to be over in 79, and then we can go in and annex them. Or not annex them, vassalize them. So we'll be able to get them as a vassal. And we're up to 27% war score now against England. We cannot take Meath, now that I think about it, because I was planning on taking Meath during the fight, I think. Yeah, I was planning on taking Meath, but I can't because I'm not going to have a fort there. I'm not going to have a fort on that island, so... You know what? I will have a fort on that island. Let's send the awesome besieging army into Meath. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to be able to get my troops there. Or can I? I'll just send them over to Galicia. I need to keep all... Oh, ooh, actually, just do that. No, we can't. That's not enough troops. It's like close to enough troops. So yes, we will go to Galicia, and then we will drop off our troops in Meath. So it's 1474. We have some stuff to do. Let's look at this. Army has arrived in Galicia. So these guys are not moving right now, which means that we can just... They actually are moving now. So we're just going to move these troops into Leinster. And that should be enough troops that I can siege down the province. Siege of Marches took way longer than I would have liked it to. But it's now over, and we can start moving on with our lives. I am actually going to put some... Excuse me. I'm going to put some troops in Picardy. And this is Jean Barreau, so we're just going to walk over here. And that should be enough to siege this. And they have 24,000 troops, so I do not want to separate these armies at all. I should have gone to Derbyshire. By doing this, I'll be able to get some good business going. One moment, I am going to blow my nose, and I'm going to... Sorry about that. Let's see. So yeah, we're going to just start the carpet siege here. Should be relatively easy to handle. We're now got a 5-year truce with them. We have a truce with them until 81. We have a truce with these guys until 84. So we will be able to annex those guys on the next war. And I actually just realized we have an important thing that absolutely needs to happen here, which is that we cannot, well, we can't actually do that. I'm dumb. So, never mind. We cannot do what we want to do there. Let's take a look at our aggressive expansion. So, Aachen is now on the list as the highest, so we need to start improving our relations with Aachen. Where is Aachen? Should be in here somewhere. It's probably not one of the free cities, because the free cities like me. It is one of the free cities, so I'm glad that I checked them. So, Wow, Achin really dislikes me. Why do they dislike me so much? Because I'm allied to their rival. So, okay, we're just gonna improve our relations with Achin. And these guys are heading into marches. They do not have any mobility. So if we get there first, which we're not going to, but if we could get there first, that would be really awesome for us. And it looks like, yes, they're just planning on sieging this province down, which makes my life easier. They apparently have military access with Northumbria, which helps me because they're not actually utilizing it to do anything to me. So we now have substantially more troops than they do once these guys show up, or once they finish their business. We will go ahead and do our stuff. So we can go ahead and stop our relations improvement with Lothringen again, I think. Our aggressive expansion will reduce at a faster pace than our stuff will increase. So let's see, or sorry, then our bonus from increasing our relations will. So let's do a sue for peace and check who's next on the list. So Achin is on the list, Switzerland is on the list. Let's do Switzerland next. And yeah, I have a slightly negative relationship with them. We'll just keep doing this. Okay, so we finished this. So let's just get in here. They will arrive on slightly different days, so we're gonna wait 3 days. 1, 2, 3. So both armies will arrive on the 21st. So I'll have 27,000 troops versus their 21,000. I will not have a crossing penalty, but I will have a slight penalty for the fact that. And in fact, I think I'm going to. Never mind, I can't. I was thinking I'd put a different guy in charge, but we have a +3 on shock, so we'll have a nice net 2 advantage on shock, and we might actually take them out. Depending on how we roll on the shock phase, then we roll a 0, so we're not going to annihilate the army. If we had rolled decently on the second shock phase, we could have actually annihilated the entire army in that fight, just because their troops are so inferior to ours. So Sweden just entered a military alliance with... Oh, great! So Sweden just declared... Oh, yes. So England is now in on this. And I'm hoping that this fight goes well for them. I have no idea why they chose now, of all times, to go for this, but they did. Now, I do want to peace out with England as soon as possible now, because I have a vested interest in it. Unfortunately, getting these guys up to a high enough relationship that they will not potentially join a coalition against me is going to take a while, potentially like a few years. So Savoy just became weaker. And we're going to wait for this siege at the very least. Go. I wonder why I can't see across the pond anymore. I don't want to go there because they potentially have a lot of troops. Oh, and those troops are in London, so I guess I should have chased their troops. Yep, they have 20,000 troops in London. We are going to move this army down, and then we're going to go attack them. We will have a slight disadvantage here, in that they did just get to I guess disadvantage is a bit of a strong wording. We are going to just eliminate their army. We may or may not be able to finish off their entire army here. We do have the advantage here that... And unfortunately, that didn't go how I wanted it to. These guys are probably going to Cornwall, so we'll just run straight across to Cornwall. With any luck, we will be able to eliminate them here. And if we can annihilate their army, then we just have to wait for Meath. And we'll be set. There we go. That was in Wessex. I was thinking that was Cornwall for some reason. Okay, so there we go. That army is eliminated. And we now have enough war score to do our business. One moment. Excuse me. So we have enough war score now that we can accomplish what we seek to accomplish. The key is that we need to take Meath before we can actually request it in a peace deal. So there was that. I'd also like to get as many of these guys out of the danger zone as possible. So I think I'm going to wait until 1476 to peace out with England. I might... No, I can't declare my next war either, so we need to definitely peace out soon-ish. So we will arrive on the 20th. Should be able to annihilate this army pretty easily. Maybe not. Must have rolled a lot of zeros there. Okay, so our truce with Florence has ended, but we don't want to go to war with Florence. Florence is our friend. And by our friend, I mean our sometimes loyal vassal. Okay, so we are just going to pop over to Lincolnshire. Our relations with Switzerland are up to +11 now, which I think is going to be enough. I'm going to stop my relations improvement and see whether this gets them out of threat range. It does not. They have a -23 from this. So let's go ahead and improve our relationship with them a little bit more. It's +4 per month. So yeah, by the end of this year, I'll be able to easily pull these guys out of that. I do need to do this quickly though, because I'm actually running into the... Okay, so we're going to send these guys to Norfolk. We should hopefully be able to take these guys out, and there we go. So we've got London being sieged. We've won the Siege of Meath, so we have 100% war score now. And we need to figure out how we want to go about this. I'm going to wait like 2 more months, maybe 1 more month, just for the Swiss opinion. And from there, we have 153 diplomatic power right now. Wait, Austria is willing to join me in wars now? Nice. Very nice. Okay, so I'm going to stop improving my relations in HN, I think. Actually, no. I'm just going to wait one more month. Actually, there's no reason to wait. I can just check. We have plenty of time. So if I take this, and I guess I can release Wales as well. There's no reason not to. If I take this, HN is still on the list, and it's going to take a lot to get them off the list. Actually, no, it's not. I just need to bribe them. I think that waiting until January of next year is in my best interest. So we are going to start improving my relations with Bar. And if I improve my relations with Bar sufficiently, I think that in January we can do this without getting any potential coalitions. Okay, we're maxed out on administrative power. Is there anything that we can spend a little tiny bit of administrative power on? This does not count as a little tiny bit. Reduce my inflation. Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and reduce my inflation by 2%. I do have a lot of spare administrative power right now. And I do intend to wait a couple more months. Now, when I do this, I'll be able to hopefully pass another piece of legislation. It's September. I think that our situation with Bar is probably fine. Oh, well that's... interesting attitude. My default attitude toward Bar is actually domineering, which is a little strange. So, Sweden is currently losing the war, by a substantial margin. And I think Defender of the Faith is really good for me. I get an extra missionary, get some extra papal influence, prestige, and a reduction in war exhaustion. And let's see, the issue is that I don't want to take Defender of the Faith and then have to fight against the Ottomans in some useless war. Okay, so 2 more months. I think that we're way ahead of the game in Bar, so I'm going to send these guys back. Let's take a look at whether we can peace out without Bar getting involved. Nope, Bar is still going to get involved because this is actually a 27 malice with Bar. But we could bribe them out of this. And I think that that's better than investing a dude for that long. So Bar is now no longer willing to join a coalition against me because they have a positive opinion of me. Aachen is always a problem, and what else do I need to worry about? Munster? Munster is a problem, but not for very long. They're only going to be at negative 54, but that is enough that I do need to worry about them. So Aachen is getting a minus 28 to their opinion with me, so I think just my improved relations with Aachen is going to be enough for that. We are going to send someone to improve relations with Munster. And then we're going to send them a gift later. But doing this will get us to the point where we don't have to worry about the Holy Roman Empire getting into, you know, business with us. So, who are their allies? They're only allied with England. So, we have no diplomats to send. I'm gonna go ahead and stop relations improvement here, because we now just need to gift them, and that should be enough. We actually have plus 25 relations with Munster. We don't need to give them a gift. Let me take a look. 23 relations with them means that it's the thing we're getting. So 29. Actually, we will just give them a gift. Actually, our aggressive expansion is going to go up, but we're losing 3 yearly from this. I'm gonna go ahead and just improve relations. Now for Aachen, we will have how much of a penalty? Means I can't look. I don't think that I need to keep improving my relations with Aachen. So what we're gonna do is pull this guy back. If we send this peace deal, we get minus 28 with Aachen. Excuse me. But as long as we have a little bit with Aachen, we should be fine. What is Aachen? I don't remember where Aachen is. I have 26. So it's going to be close, but I don't think that it'll be a problem. Okay, so it is now the 1st of January. A large number of people just dropped out of the running. Brittany, Northumberland, Aachen still, because they're still at negative 28. And Genoa. Genoa just is like at the very edge. So we're going to give these guys a gift just to get them topped up, because I don't want to just leave these guys in there for a month. Who was the other one? The other one was Genoa. So Genoa is right here. Genoa's pretty rich. Give them a decent bribe. And in 5 days, we will send our diplomat out. Alright, so never mind. Genoa actually has not enough relations with me from that. I should have just sent a full gift. It's just expensive. It's probably not an issue though, because nobody else is going to join a coalition right now. Everyone else who's on this list is toast. So there is Brittany to be concerned about. And we're not going to be able to prevent Brittany from wanting to do this because Brittany is reaching the point of no return. So we're going to just send this peace offer. I don't think that these people will start doing coalition antics until they have the ability to think they have a chance. Okay, so we need to get our boats. We're gonna just send these guys into Leinster quick. Okay, first things first, before I start... God damn it. Shit. Okay. Oh god, it's gonna take so much to improve our relations with them. Yuck. That took so long that we got well below what we needed with them. So we're not going to declare war on anyone until we've resolved this situation. But we will be soon declaring war on Denmark. Denmark is the next war goal, because if we can make them lose the war that they're in by just annihilating their army, then Sweden will declare independence, and we can push them out from... Actually, you know what? If I declare war on these guys, I can bring Austria in, but I don't want to bring Austria into war against Denmark. Denmark is not strong enough to justify that. Say the Frankian people at lunch. We don't need any of these. These are not our business right now. So once this is cored, I will be able to put all of this into the Empire. That will give me access to an extra relations slot, which will be nice. How are we doing here? We're very comfortably ahead. Don't need to worry about that too much. Oh, right, I need to actually increase my local authority here. Or local autonomy, rather. Now, there's no real reason to have a fortress in Meath anymore, because we have the fortress in Lothian defending Meath. I really wish that the Normandy thing was here in the channel. It would make my life faster. So, what else are we gonna do? Okay, it's 76. Our peace deal with these. So it's 81 that our peace deal with most of these people goes to, or peace treaty with most of these people starts going away. And we're at 179. We do not need to continue improving our relations with Munster. We're done with them. So let's see. Holy Roman Empire. No. I think I'm actually just going to give these guys a bunch of money. I don't need this much. I just need 11. And I don't even need 11, because I'm going to get at least 1. So I'm just going to improve their relations by 10. This will take over. We're now at 191. So this month, before we stop improving relations, we are going to... I have to wait for these guys to arrive. So we'll be able to start annexing these guys in May. Interesting. So spend money on improving our capital. Let's take Seems to make sense to me. If only I could just always spend 100 some ducats improving the capital. It's really cheap. So Sweden versus Denmark is going, oh well. It's basically neutral right now. There's a lot of people on this list, but they're pretty much all people that I don't need to worry about. Okay, so... we can now start annexing the vassal. This will be completed on 1493. So we're gonna lose 5 diplomatic power per month. For right now, we will be able to start spending more later on. So that's what we'll do. And also, we can improve our stuff here. We need their influence to be higher, so we can do this. Then get their diplomatic support. So 10 years before I can do that other one. And so that'll give me comfortably ahead of the game in terms of diplomatic power. And we are ready. So we can start declaring war on not Munster. This is Denmark. We're going to not cancel annexation. We're going to stop relations improvement with them. And now we're going to declare war on Denmark. So Verdun is a one-province minor. They have Norway as a vassal. Or not as a vassal, as a personal union. And we can call some people into this, but not all of them. I think that we might as well call our minors into this, because this is going to be a relatively easy war. And by calling our miners in, they'll be able to siege down the Danish provinces a little faster. So we're going to try, and I don't know if we can, but we will try to do good business here. I'm going to try to completely annihilate the Danish army. Because if I can annihilate the Danish army, then my life becomes easier. We can't send another diplomat until the 28th. But it's so nice being the emperor because it means that I can just walk across these provinces. I don't need to worry. The other thing that I'm going to do is I actually am going to merge these two units together. So never mind, I'm just going to merge these two units together, and we're going to put, I don't know, this guy, I guess? No, this guy. Which one's which? Is this Bro? Yeah. So we're going to put this guy down, and we're going to try to send him further. The other thing is that I can actually take stuff from Norway during this war if need be. I can just start taking these provinces, and I don't need claims for them because they're cheap. So let's take a look. We can sue for peace right now. In order to take any of these provinces, we are going to need to bring our navy over. We need troops over there. So I can't... Oh, actually, no. I can't take any... No. We can't take non-imperial territory during this war. I'd forgotten that. So it's okay. So the war goal is to take Holstein. So we're going to want Holstein as well as canceling Norway as a subject. That's all that we care about. And this is considered to be part of the war goal. And so is this stuff. This would result in a peace that lasts until 1491. And that's kind of cool. This would basically just cripple Denmark. So, unfortunately, no. We're not going to be able to take Holstein if they siege it down. It's not a huge deal, though. The primary point of this war is not taking territory, even though that's what we're ostensibly requesting from them. The point of this war is just to weaken the crap out of Denmark and to, more importantly, release Norway as its own entity. So, and Sweden to a lesser extent, but almost exclusively just worrying about Norway right now. Okay, so we're fine for Imperial Authority. We have an extra diplomat that we need to start sending to do something useful. Do we have any claims on Castile? We actually don't need them, but we do. We have plenty of claims. We have the excommunicated ruler Casus Belli, so we can go for that when we need to. And we have a claim on this province, but not on this province. Do I have any more fabrications I can make on them? Nope. Ooh, I do have one thing that I need to do. Where are my boats? Boats. Where are you, boats? In the middle of the ocean somewhere? I don't know where ships went. Ah, they're hiding. Okay, so how many troops does Corfu have? Corfu has... I guess I need to look. They don't have any diplomatic relationships right now, so they have 4,000 troops. I will be able to just send this army over with absolutely no difficulty. Excuse me. Okay, so things are starting to move our way over here. And by starting, I mean they are moving very, very quickly in our direction. Things are also moving in Sweden's direction. The problem is that the Swedish capital might currently be under siege. I don't really have any way of checking that. Now, at some point in the near future, we are going to be declaring war on the Ottomans, and we are going to bring Austria into that war. The other people that we need to do a check with are, is anybody going to be put over the limit? Yes! Quite a large number of people care quite a bit about this war. So, we need to be careful with what we do here. I want to finish coring this stuff. love some more diplomatic power, but I don't think it's worth losing my administrative power focus for. I could double the amount of diplomatic power that I gain every month just by getting rid of one of our connections here, but we have a royal marriage with them, and we don't want to get rid of that, and I don't want to lose my stuff with these guys, so I'm probably not going to vassalize Portugal immediately. I just got that nice, quick thinger with them, but nice small truce, but I don't actually want to utilize that short truce. Let's see, it is now January, so we're going to go ahead and get the limber. Okay, so these guys have reached their destination, and I wasn't paying enough attention to notice, so we're going to go ahead and declare war on these guys and take Corfu. Once we've taken Corfu, we'll be able to start getting stuff on Serbia and other places like that. So we're going to transport this point here. This army has no leader, so we should fix that. Their leader does not have any mobility. So as long as I bring a leader that has 1 mobility, I will not get a crossing penalty, and we'll be in good shape. So this guy has exactly 1 mobility. So we won't get a crossing penalty, and we'll just be able to walk all over their troops and call it a day. So let's pop in here. So Sweden seems to be pushing back in some places and losing ground in others. So we have basically an even fight going, but we actually need a lot more troops than this. So hop down here to Languedoc, drag these guys over here, because we need at least 12,000 troops to be able to advance the siege status there. So let's take a look. So we just won this siege here. That's really good. Their capital is right here in Zeeland, and I'm not going to take their capital fort because I want to take this Skane fort down. Actually, I am going to take their capital fort because I'm going to be doing both. Wait, what? Oh, I can't get over there because of the boat. Okay. So that's interesting. My guys here are stuck. Oh, Jean Bro just died. My troops are stuck in Finn. Oh, my ships have arrived. This is back on second. So Denmark is obviously going to want to protect their capital. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get across here at any point. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. Being sick is no fun. These guys are just chilling here now, which is actually substantially problematic for me because I really do need the war score, and what I really most importantly need is the ability to start fighting against the Danish army. So Denmark has 16,000 troops. And how many troops does Sweden have? Sweden has... yeah, so Sweden has a slightly weaker army right now. And they're currently losing this war very, very slightly. Ah! We will hopefully be able to get across. And we might. We're gonna make it. Great. So we made it to Zealand. So worst case scenario, we can assault their capital. Best case scenario, we can assault both their capital and Skane. And it looks like that is what's gonna happen, is we're gonna arrive in Skane. And yes. So we are now going to be sieging all of their stuff simultaneously. In addition, because we're taking Skane, we will be able to start pushing into Sweden. So if we can find the Danish military and eradicate them with this giant stack, then we'll be pretty much set. I think it is time to build a proper navy. So we're going to create a proper fleet. So this is 75% of the force limit, which is what? I think it doesn't matter. I want to have the ability to transport, say, 15,000 troops at a time, so that means that I do need to create 7 extra cogs. And let's see, my force limit is 31, so that's kind of crazy. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I want 5 of these? So this is... it's going to be called warships. This is not warships. Wait, I can build ships? I'm very confused. Am I building ships in my allies' territory? Huh. I didn't realize that I could build ships in a vassal's territory. That makes my life a lot easier, actually. Okay, so there's that, and then there is the warships template. That will give me an extra 15. Then I will be at my thinger. So let's go ahead and do this. No? Oh, I don't have enough money. Well, we won't do that for right now. Ooh, Calais! I forgot about you! Okay, so as long as we are able to sort of just smash Denmark in this deal, I think it'll be good. I actually can't request this stuff over here. I can't make them release that stuff. But Denmark, after this war, should be substantially weakened. I can actually fabricate claims on them and go after them again whenever I want. But I'm probably not going to, because they'll be weak enough that hopefully my allies in the Holy Roman Empire will go after them instead. That's my hope, is that I won't have to do a damn thing. And I don't know why I sent my ships away from here, because it's kind of in my best interest that they be here. So One thing that is nice here is that we are going to be actually going to not take this stuff because this results in a shorter truce, and a shorter truce is in my best interest because then I can go into Norway easier. The other stuff that I was doing weakens Denmark, but weakening Denmark doesn't really have any meaningful impact on me. So we are taking their capital, and unfortunately, this is a fully maintained fort. Where's the capital fort? Where's the capital of Sweden? Stockholm, there we go. Okay, so they are sieging Stockholm right now, and they might actually get it down before I get this other stuff. I want to check them. They are at war with Sweden and England, so I don't want to peace out right now. I want to leave them at war with me. They are members of the Holy Roman Empire, so... Oh, good. We just got the thing here. It's not going to be worth it to attack, but something to consider at least. I don't need none of your crap. Alright, we are going to start building my warships, I think. There we go. So we're going to have 33 out of 38 ships, and we will then be able to have actual naval superiority over a large portion of our enemies. So taking Sjælland should be good for me. Where are these guys going? Wait, how are they getting across? I don't think I will ever fully understand how this stuff works. Like, does this mean that I'm suppressing the fort completely or something? Would I be able to send these troops across? I can't. So if I can't do that, then why can these guys do it? Is it because I'm not in the war on their side? Is it because I'm just from a different country? Like, I don't actually understand how that works. Because I seem to be suppressing the effects of the fort. Ugh. We're gonna have to get a loan. Loans are no fun. Oh. So, what else do we need to do? We can't fabricate on the Ottomans. We already have a claim on Morocco, but we don't want to go after that, I don't think. We're gonna deal with the Moroccans once we vassalize Portugal. And we're not vassalizing Portugal until we're ready to integrate Catalonia, or once we've integrated Catalonia. Let's see. Castile has a truce for 3 more years. Both of these wars should be well over by the 3-year mark. So I don't think that's an issue. Provincial unrest, we have a decent amount of... Excuse me. So the Swedish military, or the Swedish Navy, is fighting against the Danish Navy in a less than stellar fashion. I don't know why they are fighting, because they have a smaller navy. They should really just be running away. And we've got 3 sieges going, one of which is about to tick. And we just won. Great, so we just won the Siege of Skane. Can we get... Do we need military access for them or something? That's weird. Why can't I guess I can't go in there. I'd think I'd be able to, just because of the fact that they're at war with the same people I'm at war with. So that's unfortunate. Alright, so this aggressive expansion gives me some slight but not major penalties. We're up to 63% war score now, so we can do this if we decide to. So, who do we need to impress? We need to send someone to Munster. We need to send someone to... So, someone needs to go into Munster and say hello. So we've won the Siege of Corfu. We took Blackhenge. I think that these guys are probably going to have a white piece. Okay. So we're going to have to stop relations improvement here. I am looking forward to getting Cornwall done so that I can get my business done. So what are we doing? We are taking Corfu. And Switzerland will be annoyed with me from this. But I think it's worth it to do it anyway. I guess we'll wait until January. In January, then Switzerland won't be pissed off at us about it, so... So Switzerland is doing their business. I'm just going to keep improving relations with Munster for now. Munster is right on the border here, so they care about this business going on up here much more than I would necessarily prefer them to. Okay, so let's look at our province count. Our province count is up to 55. We're going to get a 56th here. And this is 57. Plus the 19 from Catalonia. So those three are now cored, but for whatever reason Cornwall is taking longer than the others. I guess, oh, because I don't have a claim on Cornwall. So sad that we're never going to get this. I mean, we'll get it, but not until after we've completed this first achievement. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to start sending troops to Granada, I guess. Actually, do I need to send troops to Granada? I don't actually need to send those troops to Granada. I'm just going to send them to Calabria. Oops. I don't know what did I just do? That was weird. Okay. Something just happened. I hit Z? something happened. What does Z do? I hope that's not a hotkey for disband unit or something. I ended up with a really weird split there when I did that. These guys seem to be going somewhere. Oh, I see. Because those guys are also transports. Alright, so we've got 66% war score with Denmark. We've got 100% with these guys. Next month we will go ahead and peace out with Corfu because we won't have to worry about Switzerland anymore. I'm actually going to wait until I have all this stuff cored. Once I have all this stuff cored, then I will do it, because then I can get a bunch of Imperial authority, and I can use that Imperial authority to institute this, which will give me an extra diplomat and extra diplomatic reputation, which is awesome. Those two things together are going to be really good for me. Either one individually is great, because I do need to start improving my relations with all the people that I'm pissing off in the Holy Roman Empire, but should be fine. We have an 8% chance. The Pope has a 25% chance. Maintaining control. It is January. We are going to peace out with these guys. First, we need to stop our relations agreement here. Now let's take a look here. Does this... No, they've dropped off the list. One moment. Next year, Friesland will drop off. Well, I guess they won't. Now that I think about it. So, anyone jumping onto this list? No. Everyone who is on there is basically people that have been on there forever. So we're going to go ahead and core this. We're going to improve the autonomy. And we are going to keep fort, I think. Do we want this fort or no? I think this is kind of a useless fort to have. Yeah, we're going to just destroy this fort. There's no reason to have a fort there. Let's see. It's right on the border with the Ottomans, but there's no strategic value in holding that province. Okay, so now we have to look to Denmark. And if we do this, then the Palatinate will join, Genoa, Milan. So we need to wait another year to peace out with this, I think, if we want to take Holstein. And I do think that we do. There's no reason not to take Holstein. Cornwall is now core, which means that we can add it to the empire. So now we can start adding all of these provinces to the empire. Not this yet, but Leinster we can. And by adding Leinster, we now have the ability to add basically everybody, so we've added Meath, we're going to add Gwynedd. So and people are not currently willing to vote for it for some reason. Probably because I'm overextended in a variety of other things. We have peace offer with Verdun. Why? That seems like a lot of princes to be unhappy with it, so why? Economic power. interesting. There's a lot of stuff coming from the fact that I'm not of the appropriate thinger for these people. So we're gonna just wait until next year. Who do we need to actually improve relations with? We need to improve relations with Cologne. Cologne is currently annoyed with us, and we definitely don't want that. So Cologne is not a huge issue because we are going to have a positive relationship with them. So we just need to wait until we're at like maybe plus 20 or something, and then we can stop worrying about Cologne. So it is now next month. And we have 2 more years before our Aragonian conquest and Castilian conquests can begin. Now, the 2 years, we will be able to get all of this stuff for very low aggressive expansion. Do we have claims on everything? Yes. So all 4 of these provinces we can take for pretty much free. So we've got 12 princes for the reforms now. I don't know why my economic power is currently giving me a negative. Oh, I don't think it is. I think that the economic power is giving them a negative. Or something. So Emperor is not Latin. Well, that's fine. So we're just gonna get this stuff very slowly. And I think we have more than enough. Plus 24 relations with them is something that should be good enough. Let's take a look. Is Cologne still on the list? Nope, Cologne is off the list. So Switzerland, we need an extra plus 9 or something with. Yeah. So we just need to get this up a little bit more. So this will only take a couple of months. So our truce with Portugal has ended, so we could vassalize them if we wanted, but that would be a needless increase in aggressive expansion and doesn't actually get us anything. These guys are at war with Serbia and Bosnia now, which is unfortunate, because they're going to take Zeta, and when they take Zeta, I'm going to be sad. Because I had intended to fabricate a claim on that. So Ragusa is guaranteed by the Ottomans. And that's sort of an interesting thing because we should hopefully be able to go after the Ottomans soon. But yeah, I don't think I want to start getting into a war with the Ottomans until I have completely annexed England, Northumberland, Castile, and vassalized Portugal, and obviously Aragon as well. The key there is that I just think it's dangerous to have the potential for them to join a coalition with the Ottomans. I don't want to start having coalitions on 2 separate sides. Okay, so that's all well and good. It would be great if somebody would be stupid enough to attack the Empire. Because if somebody was stupid enough to attack the Empire, I'd get a huge relations bonus with the entire Empire. So Brittany is still in here. Friesland and Nassau are in here as well. So Friesland is someone that I'm going to have to be looking at. Where are you, Friesland? It's not one of the electors, I don't think. So Friesland. It should be easy enough to improve our relations with them to the point that they're not an issue. And I am going to be waiting until January to finish this off. Oh, nice. Taken some territory from Norway. But yeah, Sweden, I think, is going to lose this war. I'm pretty sure that Denmark is going to take their capital eventually. So Denmark is going to keep Sweden. And that's just going to be unfortunate. Then again, there are Swedish armies here. So if there's Swedish armies here, let's take a look. Is Denmark currently in possession of an army? Denmark is not currently in possession of an army. They do not have any military presence that's meaningful. So, conceivably, the the Swedes could actually win the war against Denmark, and that would be great. But they're probably going to have so much war exhaustion that I would assume they're going to peace out early. They're not going to get the necessary war score that they need. So Austria declared war on Lorraine. So this is kind of cool because Milan is a member of the Empire. Well, they won't be for long though, now that I think about it. Oh, we lost the Imperial Band Casus Belli against Venice. And let's see, how close are we here? A lot of princes that are against this reform. So Brittany has a new ruler. Let's see. We need like 16 more. How many more provinces do we need? We have 19. So we need 15 more provinces. And these guys, are they coring this stuff or no? Okay, they finished coring these two. Good. Okay, so we actually only have one more year left, and we can now... that here. It's January already. So we can piece out of this. We can take Holstein. Nobody is on this list that we don't want to be on this list. So we are set. We're going to go ahead and take this. We're going to do this. And we are not going to release any of these guys because... Actually, we will release Scotland because why not? Okay, so we can get a boatload out of them. We're gonna go ahead and do that. I gain 52 prestige. And we can increase the autonomy here and make it core. Excuse me. So, we can become Defender of the Faith if we want, and we probably don't have any reason not to. Who else can we set as a... yeah, we don't need to set Austria as a rival. That's silly. That would be silly. These guys are still chilling here. Let's go ahead and bring all these boats to one location. There's something there. And let's see. We don't need administrative stuff right now. We're actually getting close to capping out on administrative power, and I think that we're going to be capped on administrative power for quite a while. It's tempting to get diplomatic power, because diplomatic power is useful for certain stuff like annexing, for instance. But I'm a little concerned because I do need a lot more administrative power this run than I do the diplomatic power. And whoops. Okay, so we now have the ability to transport 14,000 troops with this fleet. So we are going to move these guys down here. And unfortunately, there's no way to go through all this territory without going through Holstein, so these guys are just going to have to consolidate in Holstein. Holstein has a supply limit that's not quite high enough for these guys. So I guess we'll just put it over here instead. We just lost one of our generals, but it's not the good guy. I'm amazed at how long our god tier general from the very beginning of the game has survived. Only 5 are for it, because I'm overextended. We're going to go ahead and bribe an advisor to take the blame. The nice thing about that is that you're bribing someone to take the blame for you to maintain the stability of your country. I don't consider that to be a serious, issue. If one of my advisors wants to take the blame for me, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So the aggressive expansion is getting to the point where the Papal State will start getting uppity. It might be worthwhile to vassalize the Papal State sometime soon. I guess I can't though, because they're going to be way too big to vassalize. So we are probably going to get the, what is that thing called? The Shadow Kingdom event proccing. We're not going to stop it, so it's definitely going to happen. And so we'll end up losing a decent amount of stuff there. these armies down here. And in just a little bit longer, we will be able to declare a war against Castile, in which we get half aggressive expansion for all of our gains. No, they're 25% done. I'm not sure if I want to give Catalonia any more territory. I guess my diplomatic reputation is going to be increasing, which will increase the speed at which I do it. So that's a point to consider. So Wherein just got annexed by Austria. I don't really care about that too much. I mean, you know, it sucks to be them. But it's one less person that I need to worry about improving the diplomatic relations with. And horrible as that may sound, I am a horrible person. So let's see, we are going to go ahead and build an extra set of cogs, I think. Yes, and this will be 7 ships. That will put us just barely under our force limit. And it occurs to me that I have a very... yeah, it doesn't matter though. Because I could do this, this gives me increased diplomatic reputation, but right now I need these better relations over time. I cannot get rid of this guy. And getting a rank 2 military advisor is a waste. Norway is now free. That's interesting. So somehow Denmark just lost Norway but did not lose Sweden. So Sweden and Norway, well, let's fabricate a claim on Norway, I guess. Perfect. So Norway, we will have an army that can easily, like, we'll easily be able to go after Norway and conquer them. So, do we want to move these guys even? I think that leaving these guys here is actually fine. So we're going to... Oh, we did lose Jean-Bureau at some point. This guy has 3 siege, so he makes a reasonably decent replacement for Jean-Bureau. He's not quite as good, but he does have 2 mobility instead of 1, so that can be kind of useful. No, we lost excommunicated ruler. That's so sad. That's very sad. So this guy died like a year before we were gonna attack him. So that does mean that if we attack here, we will gain a substantial aggressive expansion penalty. But that's fine. I mean, we're gonna probably just do it. No. Let's take a look at my stuff. I have an alliance with 5 people. So what I'm gonna do later is I'm gonna break my alliance with Naples the second one of us has a person die. We already have the modifier for Papal Legate, so we don't need that. And 36 people against it. And yeah, this overextension that I have is a large component of people not wanting this. So I'm going to wait until my overextension is gone. before I not before I declare war, but before I peace out with Castile. So they are August of next year. Let's take a look at our province count. We're sitting on 56 probably. 56, so I think we're well within the speed that we need to go. My biggest concern is pretty much just that I'm going to end up with a big coalition against me when I go after Northumberland and some of this other territory. I really am at sort of like the bleeding edge with a lot of these things. So, let's see. That's interesting. The truce with France and Denmark ends in 95, which means that unless I'm willing to break a truce to attack Norway, I'm probably not going to be able to take any territory and core it. So I'm actually going to just... I'm going to send these people over to Lothian. And I need to fabricate a claim on you guys, actually. Except I can't. Not quite yet. Four for it and 38 against. That is a little extreme. So how can I get Imperial authority? I think it mostly just comes from falling over dead, adding stuff to the Empire, and doing other stuff that I can't do yet, like enforcing religion and that kind of business. So, how overextended are we right now? Do I have only Holstein, or do I have more than that? I have two different provinces. I do have Corfu and Holstein. Wait, what? Damn it. I didn't go to Lothian first. And we have enough manpower that, not to mention money, that we can actually just... This is going to cost us 6 additional maintenance. So let's do it. I need to figure out something to spend this administrative power on because I don't have enough stuff to core. I'm going to go ahead and think I might actually just get the next rank of administrative technology. Because I'm going to need it eventually. So I'm going to get it now. I don't need extra diplomatic power to get the achievement. So that isn't a primary. What the hell, man? I know I sent them into there. I'm trying to send these guys into Lothian, drop off the troops, and then go somewhere else and do it in a more efficient manner, but for some reason it's not letting me queue this stuff together. Let's okay, so basically nobody is willing to allow this. What is my current diplomatic grip? Oh, nice. That's kind of cool. Okay, our truce with Castile has ended, so we can now declare war on them. We're going to go ahead and do that. And Portugal will, of course, join the war. Savoy is like, no. So we just have Portugal to deal with, so we'll just wipe out the Portuguese troops with this army and then piece them out. So we have 4 things that we have claims for, and we're gonna start the war. We want to start these wars and finish these wars as quickly as humanly possible. So it's really Barra, so we're gonna go with them. And we need to send more troops here because they actually have a decent sized army over there. Okay, so the Portuguese army is destroyed. Holy shit, it's gonna take forever to get there. Alright, fine, we're just gonna turn around. We're gonna siege Portugal out of the war first. Catalonia is hopefully gonna defend our stuff. So it looks like they're just going to walk over here. Corfu is now cored. Let's see. That only gives me 1 extra. And I can't institute the reforms while I'm at war, so I'll have to wait until the war is over. So Granada's under attack. So if I can piece Portugal out, which will happen pretty soon. No, never mind. One moment. I, of course, forgot to mute the mic. And let's see, we need to bring these guys down from Lokian. Alright. We can actually bring these guys closer. We'll just bring them to Cantabria. I'm actually going to get another military leader. There's really nothing that would make me not want to. We don't need to go in there with this army, so we're gonna just siege this up ourselves. So they've taken Sevilla. 20 heavy ships, huh? That's not feasible. Okay, so this army is going to go over here. Oh! Castile has no navy. I forgot about that. I landlocked Castile, which means that they don't have a navy at all. So we can just walk these guys down to Lisboa. And wow. So we've already got this siege going in our favor. I'm going to just pop over to Lisboa because I want to siege it down as quickly as possible. I want to get a truce with them. Get the truce with them going. Okay, so I also need to take a look at what I can actually get out of this war without causing problems for myself. So if I take all of my claims, that's a 57 war score thing. And Aachen and Savoy both become problematic. So, whoa, that went up to 21%. It's +5 siege modifier from the besieging artillery. Holy crap. So the siege of Lisboa is over, and we can peace out with Portugal. These artillery are going to be frickin' enormous. Okay, so let's see. We can now go to Toledo. And we're going to eliminate the Portuguese Navy, which is all well and good. We do not need our ships to be putzing around anymore. So we're going to stop relations improvement with them because that allows us to peace out with Portugal. I'm actually going to do something, I think. Oops. Let's see. This is just meet with Portugal. Have them pay the reparations. So we get to Toledo at 0% with this army now, because oh, wow, this is really crazy. The 10 artillery that we have are going to make it so that basically all of these fights are extraordinarily quick now. Ooh, we get some inflation and we get some administrative power. Let's go ahead and do that. We now have enough to get Noble Republic if we really wanted, but we do not. So we can no longer claim that Kent would be a rightful part of our realm. And there are now 9 princes for the reform, but it's not going to happen until after I have cored everything that I have. Unfortunately, I don't know that I'm ever going to core everything that I have. Because I'm about to declare war on Aragon. Aragon only has like 2 more years of this peace. So I'm going to be annexing Aragon with that. I'm just not going to... Capital fort? No, Palermo has a capital fort. So, if we take all this stuff from them, the truce will end then. So we're going to wait until next year to do this. And I think that we can... get away with it, so this is an additional 4 provinces. So, if we wait until January to do this, I don't even know that we need to, though, to be perfectly honest. Like, there's the risk of these people joining a coalition against me, but it's not a very large risk because I don't need to declare war on any of them. They're just not important. So, and Austria just keeps charging into the Holy Roman Empire provinces that I don't have good relations with. So, and some of these people might be leaving the Empire. We'll just have to see. Either way, I think I am going to, just to test it out, I'm going to do this immediately as opposed to waiting. And I'm going to send these guys down here to attack because I'm a bit concerned about that 21%. I don't want to have any of my provinces sieged down. Granada is mountains, but this will be a somewhat one-sided fight, I believe. So there's some border friction here. Cuenca's come under the occupation of France. And that's not good. This isn't nearly as one-sided a fight as I like them to be. I prefer my fights to be very one-sided. Okay, so we can go ahead and do this. We don't get a huge amount of aggressive expansion. Some of these people will get a little annoyed with us, but it is important that we start getting things moving the right direction. And spending a huge amount of time at war is not the way to do that. So we need this army to get in the ships. Consolidate both of my navies in Granada. I'd say both. There's actually 3 navies technically. Where's my other navy? Our royal marriage with Naples is over, which means that we can actually drop this alliance like a bad habit. Okay, so we broke our alliance with Naples. We actually have claims on all of our provinces as well, so if we felt like it, we could easily attack Naples They only have -5 from aggressive expansion because they've been allied to me this whole time. So that's nice. But I now have a +3 increase because I'm no longer over my relations limit. So, and also because my diplomatic reputation is lower, so I'm annexing Catalonia slower. Catalonia is definitely not getting any larger, I think. Well, maybe they'll take these. Those two provinces shouldn't take too long. Two forward and 40 against. So let's see. I'm a little annoyed with all this overextension nonsense. Do I want to wait 3 years before going to war just so that I can get this resolved? Oh, my diplomat died. Well, that has made my choice for me. I no longer have the ability to have the relations bonus. So instead we're going to have diplomatic reputation increase. Hello! Our cause is just. So, we just got -20% aggressive expansion penalty, which is huge because now we'll be able to... It basically negates the penalty that I just had. Well, to an extent. Yeah, basically. Because the key is that you have to sort of even out your aggressive expansion intake with your aggressive expansion sort of slowly deteriorating over time. So we are going to go ahead and improve our relations here. I don't think we need to do anything else. Serbia has just been annexed by the Ottomans, so that's kind of scary. And the Ottomans are getting really big. So tolerance of the true faith is up, and clergy gains loyalty. Yay. So, clergy. So we'll be able to do this again in 4 more years. We're not going to be able to do that for a very long time. We don't need the military support anymore because we don't really have anything to spend it on. But slowly we are accumulating diplomatic power. So when will this finish right now? Where are we projected to finish this? June of 1493. So 11 more years to take all of this. And for being for it. Let's see. Ah, good. So we're gonna start moving these guys over. Actually, we don't need to move all of these troops over, that's kind of silly. Instead, we're going to cancel this. We are going to create a new unit that is exclusively consistent of these guys. And we're going to move them over. So I'll just put them in Messina. And it should be sieged down pretty dang quick. So I don't think that we have anything else that we are in terrible need of. Oh, you know what we are in need of is dropping our unrest in these provinces. Actually didn't need to do that with Cuenca, probably, but it's fine. Now, Jean de Treville will be able to annex through Aragon very quickly. And we will not get as much aggressive expansion as we normally would. So that will be useful. We do have a truce with Naples for a very short period of time. And let's see, I don't know how many we have. We have more than 58. So we're sitting at over 60 provinces ourselves, so we need possibly about 20 more provinces in the next little bit. Now that I have... I'd love to be able to institute that, but it's just going to be very difficult to get the people voting for it. And it's pretty much just the overextension, I guess, that's really doing me in. The overextension right now causes such a gigantic malice to it that there's no way to overcome that. But once I stop being overextended in a century or two, that should help. Now, I'm annexing Catalonia reasonably slowly right now, with a rate of only 5 per year. And I guess that's because of the fact that I'm so overextended. What extension is what right now? It's only 41% overextension, so you get overextended by quite a bit very easily. Unfortunately, we do not have a claim on these provinces. I set them as hostile, I think. Yes, I set myself as hostile with Sardinia in the hope that... Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and support the other candidate. I don't know what that does. Gives me Pretender Rebels. This Civil War event is basically going to annihilate Castile. Because they just don't have very much left. And, you know, they might even get, at some point, the Iberian Wedding. But if they get the Iberian Wedding before I annex Aragon completely, I will be very surprised. So it'll be July of next year when we can declare war on Aragon again. These will finish when? April of 85. I can't call for this while I'm at war. And the wars will be very fast from now on. So... one of the things that's actually very important here is that I'm so far ahead militarily that pretty much anyone I go up against, I can just mow through their troops, and not even just their troops, but mow through their forts. The fortifications, the level 1 forts, do not stand against cannons for very long. Here in Castile, we actually were at like 0 from the start, and that is a capital province, so that's a rank 3 gizmo. And if we can drop our overextension by just a bit. So yeah, we're just gonna wait on our overextension to finish, because it's in our best interest. It's not something we want to worry about right now. Austria is definitely getting really big. I don't actually have a claim to fabricate. I'm going to fabricate a claim on Glamorganshire. I was thinking that I wouldn't be able to go to war against Norway and actually win the war in time, but now that I'm looking at the speed at which these sieges are going, I'm actually much less concerned about that kind of stuff. I don't think there's going to be any problem acquiring all the provinces that I need. It's just a matter of how I want to handle it. So Castile has got a truce until 93. So we can take a full war score truce off of them in 93, no issues. So they're building carracks. That's interesting. Catalonia is wealthy enough now that they're really doing some impressive stuff over there. This is really interesting. Okay, so Aachen is outraged with me for some reason. I can't imagine why. So we will have to change some of this stuff up. Now, Aachen is... it's because I'm allied with a rival, that's why they're so pissy. And we're going to be able to get something here. I guess we'll get the church tax. Nope, never mind. I don't have Papal Legate anymore, it just ran out. So since this just ran out, I'm going to go ahead and get it again. Timurids are having a civil war. That's very bad for them. And it's not great for me either, because I do want the Timurids to be a good counter to the Ottomans over there for a while. Okay, so let's take a look at my economy as it stands right now. So we collect 1 here. There's how much in the node? There's 23 in the node. So if we were to do this, we could protect trade in, what is this node anyway? Genoa. So we can protect trade in the Genoa trade zone, and that should help us a little bit financially. I only have 1 ship, so I don't do that bad. I do not have nearly enough people. Alright, my wife is on her way home. And we'll have this... Oh, truce with Aragon just ended, so in just a couple of years we will go ahead and attack them. Are we going to wait? I say a couple of years, a couple of months is what I meant. Okay, I don't want to attack Aragon until I have passed this legislation. I just don't think it's worth it, because I'm going to attack them, I'm going to take overextension some more, and I just feel like it's not in my best interest. And yes, I'm reading out loud. I'm talented like that. Don't judge me. Austria is currently at war with Bar. And I think that Austria is just going to sort of be traveling through the Holy Roman Empire, annexing half the empire. Either way, I do need to start getting some people happier with me. Milan is a good choice because I need to do it for quite a while, and so. Excuse me. I think what's going to happen here, my wife is on her way home, is I'm basically just going to wait things out until I've taken this stuff, until I've cored this stuff, and then I am just going to go ahead and institute this, and then we will save the game, and that'll be the end for today. So that's just what we're going to do. We currently are looking at how many provinces? I can't actually tell because for some reason 58 is the number that it shows here. I'm guessing I have 60-some provinces, and we have a decent number that we still need to take. We have 17 years to take territory because it needs to be core. So by spending one of those years sort of just putzing around waiting for stuff to finish coring, we are, you know, slowing ourselves down by a bit. But we will be able to take 5 provinces from Aragon. We will be able to let's see. We'll be able to take some more provinces from Castile, and we'll be able to take some more provinces from England soon. The truce with us ends in 2 years, so we'll be able to go after Northumberland very easily. Northumberland as allied with Brittany, so if need be, we can actually take territory from Brittany during that war. That's probably not going to be something that we desire, but it is something that we can do if we need to. So let's get this stuff cored. So we have 2 more months that we have to wait. And, you know, waiting a little bit is fine. It's okay to slow the pace down a bit if you're really far ahead. And just, you know, take it easy for a while. The more years that you have, so full annexation of Bar is done, so that's interesting. There are only 40 princes in the Empire right now. We can get a land maintenance modifier reduction. I don't think that we need anything to improve the actual power of our troops because it's just not that relevant. However, having this it gives us an extra diplomat, which we desperately need right now. So that's worth waiting on the coring for. Once we've done that, the rest of the time we won't need to wait to finish coring. We'll just be able to conquer and conquer and conquer and conquer. And we are currently powerful enough that, like, if we just build like a stack of... Oh. Interesting. Why does Austria not want to be allied with me anymore? Why are they hostile? That's not good at all. Because Austria's been getting more and more powerful. I don't want Austria to be... I only have 17 aggressive expansion. I guess I'm just going to have to send someone over to improve relations with Austria. They desire a lot of my stuff. It's the problem with having powerful neighbors. Oh, did I finish coring? Yes, I did. So we're going to institute Reichsregiment. That's done. So we get an extra diplomat, we get some more diplomatic reputation, and we are now on our way toward reforming the Hofgareth. And we now have a plus 54 here. So we don't... Yes, so we have plus 0 from Imperial Authority from this, so we can just look at it, and we're pretty much set. We're never going to have to worry about other people becoming emperor as long as we have 3 allies in there. We can also send a papal legate, so we're going to do that. So papal legate is sent. We now have +2 to our diplomatic reputation. So we have a ridiculously high diplomatic reputation. That is going to speed up the annexation of these guys. And that, wow, that is interesting. Between getting rid of our exhaustion, getting the diplomat thing done, and getting the formation, we've gotten enough of this that it actually speeds up the time that we'll finish it by 5 years. That is an enormous change. So that is going to be it for today. I will... let's see. Oh, there we go. So I can now see. I have 61 provinces. And I have a vassal that has another 19 right now. So that means that we need exactly 20 provinces. Do they have 19 right now? Or did I take more? No, they only have 19. So we definitely need to speed up the pace because we haven't been taking nearly as many as we need. But we can very quickly accomplish this. So we need to take these 5 provinces from Aragon. Then we will take... I think we're just going to immediately go into Northumbria and take the Northumbrian provinces. That will be another 3. You know, I was sure that I had a better situation going on here, but apparently not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so they have 19. So we do need to get 20 more provinces, and we need to core them. So we're going to need to pick up the pace. We'll go after Naples when we can, probably, just because aggressive expansion isn't nearly as important as holy shit, we're starting to fall behind. And that'll be that. So thank you everyone for watching. It has been a pleasure to stream for you guys today, and I hope to see you all again next time.